I'm Michaela with Big Fish, and it is my pleasure to introduce the Director of Developer Relations at Big Fish Games, Jessica SACHS.
Thank you, Michaela. Hello, everyone. I'm here today to talk about how to make successful premium casual games. But before I get into my presentation, I have a few announcements I need to make on behalf of the Casual Games Association. First, lunch is served at noon today. It's sponsored by Big Fish, so please eat it. Hopefully it'll be delicious. There's I think a session at 12:30, a lunch session. So anyone in this room who knows me well knows that I'm incapable of being brief. So I'll probably be going until 12:15. So if you want to attend the 12:30 lunch session, you will have a buffer of time so you can run, grab some food, and come back. The other thing I'd like to mention is that there is a party tonight. The official Casual Games party is tonight at 9 o'clock at Halo Club. So be sure to be there. It's supposed to be great. So today I'm here to talk to you and hopefully help answer this question: do you know how to develop successful premium casual games? There are many different kinds of casual games. I want to be very clear that my presentation is very specific to premium casual games. Premium casual games are games that appeal to mainstream consumers' desires for fun, relaxation, and immersive escapism. Casual games exist in many forms, ranging from social games to free-to-play games to premium casual. Premium casual are games that are downloaded to many different platforms. You usually pay one set price point per platform, and then you actually completely own that game. So it's very different from the free-to-play monetization experience. Today we're going to cover these three topics. I'm going to give you some background information on who Big Fish consumers are for premium casual games. I'm going to talk to you about what these customers prefer in their games. So if you want to develop a premium casual game, you have some idea on what kind of genre and what kind of gameplay mechanic to target. And because everyone has an agenda, including myself, I am going to talk to you about why Big Fish is the best partner, best publisher for premium casual games. Now, because I'm long-winded and I am going to go long, I'm going to have to forego a Q&A session, but I promise to station myself at the Big Fish booth afterwards, so if you have questions, you can come seek me out there. So for those of you who might be unfamiliar with us, I'd like to give you a little background information on who we are. Big Fish is the world's largest producer and publisher of casual games. We've been around since 2002. We launch one new game every day, and we've successfully downloaded over 2 billion casual games around the world. Our customers are located in over 150 different countries. We actually have over 550 different game developers, some of who are in this room that we know quite well. And we have over 3,000 games in our catalog. Now, our catalog of content spans many different kinds of platforms. And that's what Big Fish really is we're a multi-platform publisher. We are a big believer in the PC Mac business, which surprises a lot of folks, and I'll talk about that in a moment. We also publish content to mobile devices, such as iOS and Android. And we have a cloud streaming service called Big Fish Unlimited. Now, many of you in this room are very familiar, very likely, with the PC, Mac, and mobile platforms I've mentioned. Obviously, Big Fish Unlimited is unique to Big Fish, so I'm going to take a moment to describe it. Big Fish Unlimited is a cloud streaming service that takes the PC version, so it takes the PC executable of a game, and runs it remotely on a data center in the cloud. What customers are interacting with is actually interactive video that is being streamed to the consumer. There is a thin client on the customer side that, as they interact with that video, feeds their actions back up to the game playing in the cloud. It checks in so the save status remains, and then the results are conveyed back to the customer in this sort of looping process. What's wonderful about the technology around Big Fish Unlimited is it allows us to take the PC version of a game and make it available on virtually any platform by just running the PC version with no porting necessary on the part of the developer. So that's very exciting for us. As I mentioned a moment ago, Big Fish is still a big believer in the PC Mac marketplace. We've actually been in the PC business since 2002. It's how we were founded. And we like to take and have found that if you take the PC version and launch it, it's a great testing grounds for the performance of that title. And if the game does well on PC, we can generally take that and leverage it across the different platforms that we support and leverage that into larger cross-platform success. So we are a big fan of the PC marketplace. What allows us to be very helpful to the game developers that we work with is we're very good at connecting a wide range of consumers with a wide range of games. We have an internal research team at Big Fish who their main job is really understanding our customers. who are our customers? What do they want? Why do they like the games that they like? We also have an internal third-party publishing team, some of whom are here. Can you guys stand? Or just wave or whatever. These are some of our third-party producers. What they do is they take the information that our research team provides them, and they work with game developers that we've partnered with to improve the quality of the content so that when we launch these games across the various platforms we support, they have a higher likelihood of strong performance. So hopefully some of you in the room know the answer to this question, but who are Big Fish's premium casual customers? Anyone want to guess? George, I'm looking at you. Walmart customers, and who are Walmart customers in particular?
I'm going to say they're females over 35.
Females over 35, well, I'll be danged. You're right. So to be clear, we have more than 9 customers, but it's no accident that the people in that picture are primarily women. Well, actually, they're all women, because 87% of Big Fish premium casual customers are women, and 87% of those women are between the ages of 35 and 75. They're located in over 150 different countries so that we find, as we localize games in the different languages we support and distribute them into those territories, the demographic numbers don't really change. It's still women who are playing these games. They're very good customers. We love them. They're very loyal. They visit our website every day and have been customers for 2+ years. They spend an average of 10 hours per week playing casual games, specifically ours, sometimes more. And as we expanded into mobile about 2 years ago, we started doing some demographic research to understand, well, who is our mobile customer? And as it turns out, for the premium casual games that we take to mobile, they're just as female, they are slightly younger, and they're different from our PC customers in one unique way, and that is that they're more open to cooperative gameplay. Our PC customers have very specific motivations behind why they like premium casual games. And the key thing that they look for is relaxation. So these are working moms, these are retirees, these are people who have very busy daily lives. They play premium casual games, regardless of the platform, regardless of the device, for the word that is highlighted at the top, to relax. That is their main driving force. There's many other motivations behind the reason they choose and seek out premium casual games. I'd like to highlight a couple. One of them is me time. So for our PC customers in particular, this is what they do to unwind. They've sent their kids off to bed, probably forced the husband to go into the den somewhere, and this is what they do to relax and enjoy some moments alone. And again, you're gonna hear me say the word relaxation quite often throughout this presentation because that is the key. Another driving factor behind why our customers play premium casual games is for the simple fact that, unfortunately, I have IT problems. Oh, nope, just somebody in the way. Is because, sadly, life is hard for a lot of our customers. At one point or another, they're actually going through some pretty terrible hardship, and they've actually sought out premium casual games because these games are designed not just to allow the customer to relax, but to actually help them feel successful and rewarded. And believe it or not, that's a very key factor behind why they play these games. So I mentioned, and I will continue to mention, that Big Fish is a big believer in the PC business. Well, we started as a distributor of PC casual games in 2002, so this isn't our first rodeo. This is definitely a proven testing ground for us. And premium casual on PC can be a big business. Case in point, Red Riding Hood. So Dark Parables, the Red Riding Hood sisters, is a game that launched this year. It's an old brand on our site, and I say old because it goes back to 2010. This is a game developer out of Hong Kong. He's one of the first developers that worked with Big Fish back in the day, and he has spent a lot of time partnering with us to understand who our customers are and how to make games that they're going to like. I like to highlight this particular brand because it really shows you the evolution of success that a game can have in the PC world, especially with Big Fish. And they've really been able to capitalize on the success from launching Dark Parables Curse of the Briar Rose. I actually have a little laser pointer. In 2010. The sequel was launched in 2011, and then in this past year they launched Dark Parables, the Red Riding Hood sisters. And I want to point out that this is the units that this game sold in its first 7 days. That's not too shabby at all. This game on PC alone on the Big Fish App Store will make $2 million. And as we take it to other platforms, this is the estimated lifetime value that game will likely bring in. Why is this game so successful? That's actually what I'm going to talk to you about today, because this game does a lot of things right, this brand, I should say. And I'm going to cover those 3 key things. First, this game developer smartly picked a genre he knew our customers would love. I'm actually going to talk about that genre in a few moments. This game developer invested in making sure he was making the highest quality games. Quality matters, quality is key. Our customers are savvy enough to know the difference between a great game and a game that unfortunately isn't as high of quality. The other thing that this game developer did smartly was he invested in a brand that he knew he could leverage from a story perspective across various platforms. He also put me in the game, which I've heard is very successful in helping it to sell. And so for those of you who are interested in doing so, I have some headshots available at the booth that Michaela can provide. A little plug for myself. There's a number of different casual games that do well. I joined Big Fish in 2006, and when I joined Big Fish, Match 3 games were the game that we were launching nearly every day. And they continue to be a successful genre. After Match 3, we had a number of time management games coming out, as well as casual Sims games, that led over here to resource management games. These are the genres that are quite viable. They can do well on our site, but they do pale in comparison to our most successful genre, which are hidden object adventure games. It's worth mentioning that Dark Parables Red Riding Hood Sisters that I'm in, it is a hidden object adventure game, and that's one of the reasons it's been able to have a lot of success. Now, before I get into this, I do want to bring up an important fact. I am talking specifically about premium casual games. Premium casual games differ from other kinds of casual games such as free-to-play. I have a coworker here who's going to do a presentation tomorrow on free-to-play games. And they do differ from premium casual games not only in the demographic, but also in customer motivations. So when I'm describing the genres and the customer demographic for premium casual, know that it is very different from free-to-play. So if that's the game that you're most interested in making as free-to-play, we can talk about that separately tomorrow. So why do customers love hidden object games? They love them for a variety of reasons. First, that word that I'm going to keep showing you, relaxation. That's what this genre really provides. They're also highly consumable. Most hidden object games are 3 to 6 hours in gameplay. The mentality customers have when it comes to purchasing and playing these games is very similar to the book club mentality that you see throughout the United States, where customers will fall in love with a particular kind of author, for instance, Stephen King or J.K. Rowling of the Harry Potter series, and they will buy and read every book that author writes because they know that they can count on that author to provide a story that's compelling and relaxing. That's the same basic philosophy behind these hidden object adventure games, especially if you're making a game that has an immersive story. That's the point. Customers want to immerse themselves, they want to escape from the world that they're currently in and enjoy some me time. And that's why 70 to 80% of our premium casual customers prefer the hidden object adventure genre for both PC and mobile. So what do our customers want? Well, our customers are women. And I'll tell you right now that they are a bit tricky. My mom is one of our customers, and she's the pickiest, most particular person in the world. And I know if this goes on video, she's going to give me a hard time for saying that. But it's true, and they're very particular about the things they want to see in games. But these bullet points up here, if you include them in your hidden object adventure game, will give you a leg up in terms of success. It is not, I repeat, it is not enough just to make a hidden object adventure game. There are actually plenty of hidden object adventure games on our site and on mobile devices that do not sell well. If you want to make a successful hidden object adventure game, these are some factors that you absolutely have to consider. Theme is very important to our customers. Now, mystery, crime, and adventure themed games, these rate the highest with our customers in terms of the kind of theme that they seek out to play. Now, they're not the only successful themes. In the past few years, the fantasy theme has actually become very successful thanks to a series that we've launched on our site called the Awakening series. So think a little bit Lord of the Rings. That's become a bit more popular with our customers. Also, before you go in and make a hidden object adventure game in one of these 3 themes, I'd recommend you play some of the games on our website, because what mystery, crime, or adventure might mean to you might mean something different to our customers. So definitely do your due diligence and see what is successful in those themes on our site today. This is an important one to point out, 2D painted cinematics. It's no surprise to us that most of the games on our website in this genre have a very painterly art style. Well, that's because 3D doesn't typically do very well with our customers. It's up and coming. There have been some games that have launched with 3D cinematics that have done well, but unfortunately a lot of them haven't been done well. You might also see some games on our website that have live action, so actual actors that have been videotaped and used in the game. Some games have done that pretty well, but unfortunately for most of our customers, that kind of cinematic doesn't resonate because you start to creep into the uncanny valley where the whole thing is no longer believable. Again, they play these games to escape, relax, and immerse themselves. They don't want something that's going to kick them out of that experience. And perhaps the most important thing you can do, and I should have bolded this to be honest with you, is an immersive story told through gameplay. If our customers wanted to read, they would go get a book. I know, because I've seen them do it. They're playing these games to relax, and the key word here is play. Text-heavy games do not resonate well with our customers. That's why cinematics have actually become popular. Cinematics, if done well, can help move the story along, and if the gameplay is done well, it can also move the story forward without the customer having to read a lot of text that we know for a fact they tend to skip through. There are also things that customers hate. Unfortunately, the list of things they hate is often longer than the list of things they really want and like. Now, a moment ago, I showed you a picture of our customers. Mostly women, mostly between the ages of 35 and 75. If you're going to make a hidden object game for them, you probably shouldn't include overtly sexual female characters. Wrong demographic, I just wouldn't do it. There are also some themes that are notoriously unpopular with our customers. Believe it or not, fashion is one of them. They don't like fashion games. More often than not, when they see a fashion game, they actually assume it's for a much younger girl. And keep in mind, these are older women. Westerns and sport-themed games also don't perform that well. And this is an important one here. As I mentioned a moment ago, a lot of our customers go through some hardship. They play these games to feel successful. So if you design your game so that the customer is forced to fail, it's not going to resonate. This one is particularly important with regards to other genres, so non-hidden object adventure games like resource management and time management games. Time and time again, we see games in these genres that are extremely difficult, especially in the first handful of levels. And if it's too difficult and the customer is being forced to fail, then it's going to prevent that customer from making a purchase. If a game is in excess of 20,000 words, then you might as well just turn that story into a book and publish it because it's just too text-heavy for our customers. And again, these are women, and I can speak from personal experience. I don't like spiders. They give me nightmares. I have horrible arachnophobia, and if I see a game with spiders in it, I'm not going to buy it. So I encourage you to avoid things that are disgusting like spiders, and don't do these things. Now, hidden object adventure games is a genre that I've spent a lot of time talking about, but I'm pleased to say it's not the only genre that we see perform well on our site. Kingdom Chronicles right here is actually a resource management game that we launched last June as a collector's edition. So for those of you who are unfamiliar with Big Fish, we offer a variety of price points on our website, one of which is a higher price point at called a collector's edition. It's $19.99 for non-Game Club members and $13.99 for Game Club members. To launch as a collector's edition, the game has to qualify as in our Game Score program, and our Game Score program basically has our customers playing these games at beta, so the first hour complete, and giving us some feedback and basically a mark of approval. If the game score comes back high enough and we know that it's collector's edition quality, we will launch it at a higher price point. Most of the collector's editions you'll see on our website are hidden object games, but this is a non-hidden object game that genuinely resonated very well with our customers and that we were able to launch as a collector's edition, and it did extremely well for us. Some of you might recognize this this brand, Fishdom. Fishdom is a match 3 game. It's been around for many, many years, developed by a partner of ours out of Russia, and it also qualified for Collector's Edition. It launched in November, and quite frankly, we were surprised to see that. But then again, this is a long-running brand that has a lot of value to it that customers do recognize, and the developer takes a lot of time to make sure that it's high quality, well-balanced, and well-polished, and that it's not setting you up to fail. Big key in why both of those games did well and qualified for Collector's Edition as non-hidden object adventure games. They constantly reward the consumer, and they allow the consumer to be successful. Over the past year or so, Big Fish has actually started launching free-to-play games. Now, free-to-play games, as I've paused to mention, are very different from premium casual games. I actually have a teammate, as I mentioned, who's here, who's going to give a presentation tomorrow on free-to-play games. His name is Chris Williams. Chris, do you want to wave at the crowds? They know who you are. So don't forget to go to Chris's session tomorrow. He'll talk to you more about free-to-play games. What's exciting for us about free-to-play games is it's actually the demographic for that kind of gameplay is the same that we see on our website, if not a little broader in that it includes more men. These games are also doing very well for us. We've launched them on mobile, we've launched them on our website, and I'm very pleased to tell you that the free-to-play games that we have launched on our website have a DARPU, a daily average revenue per user, that is 3 times higher than those same games on mobile. So for those of you who are interested, Chris's talk is tomorrow at 1 o'clock in Hall G, and he'll tell you a little bit more about our free-to-play success and why we're very interested in that genre of game. So I've spent a lot of time talking to you all about the PC platform, who our customers are, what they like to play, but I do need to point out that the games that we've seen be very successful across a variety of platforms were smart. The developers were smart in that they actually took the time to plan for these other platforms very early in game development. The games that have done well for us on mobile, that were hits on PC, were very well optimized for mobile, from a game design perspective. And Big Fish Unlimited is unique in that it takes that PC version and makes it available on various other platforms. There are some things that you can do, though, early on that allow us to more quickly test that game and give it higher success when we launch it into Big Fish Unlimited. Mobile is a very important platform for us. Big Fish has been on mobile for over 2 years now. We've seen a lot of success there. I'll actually go into some genuine numbers in a moment. But there's a number of things that you can do to help optimize for your mobile game. Now, the engine that you use to build your game and your experience with using that engine are important when it comes to porting the game. But that is not enough to ensure that you have a quality mobile product. You absolutely must plan ahead for optimization. Those are the games that we see doing the best. So I'm going to go through a few of these with you. The mobile interface and UI are quite different from what you might see on PC, so definitely plan ahead for that. A big one for us, though, is this: design for the touchscreen device. A number of the hidden object adventure games, and even non-hidden object games that you see, require you to mouse over a particular area with your mouse cursor to get feedback on how you can interact with that area. That doesn't really work at all on a touchscreen device for mobile. So a lot of our partners who have that in their games, they actually planned ahead for how to create the same kind of opportunity to know what you have to do with that particular area, or remove it whatsoever, or entirely, I should say, when moving over to touch screen devices for mobile. Unfortunately, not all fingers are the same shapes and sizes, so do plan ahead for that. And small objects are very hard to click on a touch screen, even for my little 4-year-old nephew, and he has teeny tiny hands. And Big Fish is a fan of supporting multiple languages. When we launch a game into the iOS App Store, we actually prefer to launch it in more languages than just English. We see a lot of success with the other languages that we support. Now, obviously, adding additional languages can increase the size of your game, but it definitely helps with the long-term revenue success to support multiple languages. And last but not least, test before you invest. Make sure there is a pathway to actually port the game before you start doing so, because the longer it takes, obviously, the more expensive it can become. So, because we have an agenda and I have to pimp my company, I do want to take a minute to talk about why Big Fish is the best publisher for premium casual games. We're the best publisher for premium casual games because we can take the PC version of your game, if it resonates with customers, and leverage it across all of the platforms we support. We do this because we have a very large and loyal customer base around the world. As I mentioned, we have customers in over 150 different countries, and they are ardent fans of our kind of content, regardless of platform. That being said, platforms are also important. Platforms are important because they are a fantastic way to introduce new customers to your content. And we offer a variety of business models for that content so that we're constantly attracting new and qualified customers to your games. The various business models and price points we offer aren't just useful in attracting new and qualified customers, they're also key to what we call our life cycle management strategy. At Big Fish, we do have a life cycle management strategy that takes the game from its PC release all the way through to when it's launched on Big Fish Unlimited, which is a subscription service. And we have various price points that we introduce at these stages of the game to make sure that we're maximizing the lifetime value of your product and getting it in front of the customers that we know are on these particular platforms and that we've learned how to incent so that they are making a purchase when they see your content there. So that, in essence, is Big Fish's philosophy behind launching and monetizing content. Now I actually want to show you some real numbers. So I can get up here all day and tell you what we do, but I like to take an opportunity to show you how we do it. So in a moment, I'm actually going to show you the first 30-day sales numbers for games that we've launched in the hidden object adventure genre. The games that I'm going to show you were developed by the same studio. There are two different kinds of games, two different brands, and I'm going to show you how this developer, Elephant Games out of Russia, took the time to understand who our customer was, who our customer is across all platforms, that they took the time to really learn what genre of game to make and what to really put into that game so that it would succeed, and how they then gave that game to us for us to leverage across the various platforms we support so the game could be successful. The first game we're going to take a look at is called Grim Tales: The Legacy. So it qualified for collector's edition. So this is what I would call a good to average game, to be honest with you. So the first 30-day sales numbers, let's jump right into it. This game was launched as a collector's edition in February of 2012, so exactly a year ago today. And it did about $500,000 in sales across PC and Mac. So it wasn't too extraordinary. We've actually seen games perform much better upon release as collector's edition. A month later, we launched the standard version of the game. So for those of you who are new to Big Fish, when your game qualifies for collector's edition, you essentially get to release the same game twice. The collector's edition version includes bonus content and additional gameplay, about 60 minutes worth, that incents the customer to spend more money for that game. And then a month later, we launched that same game minus the bonus content and additional assets. And that's what qualifies it as a standard edition release. So in March, a month later, we launched Grim Tales: The Legacy as a standard edition game across PC, Mac, and the international sites we support. And the additional revenue it earned brought the total revenue up to about $800,000. We then launched the game just this past month into iOS. And the game thus far has brought in about $1 million total, and that's just adding the first 30-day sales numbers together. Now I want to pause and point out something on iOS here. To be perfectly honest with you, this is understated mobile performance for us. I'll tell you why. This game launched as iPad only, and it launched only in English. We have seen iOS games perform much better than this by launching iPhone and iPad and with the other multiple languages that we support. So there is a lot more that this game could actually earn on iOS, and not to mention we have Android coming soon, which is very exciting. We're also going to launch this game in the cloud, and that's actually happening very soon here. I checked before I left, and it's being tested as we speak. Now, Big Fish Unlimited only launched in July of this past year. And because of the technology and how this game is served to consumers, it was a gated customer entry until December, meaning we didn't allow all customers who wanted access to access it. Mostly because we didn't want to crash our servers, but also to do some testing and investing, which is something that we love to do. It's a new service, it's still not yet mature, and it's currently only available in the United States. We do have launch plans in place for Europe, Asia, and on other platform devices, but this estimate that you're seeing right here is an estimate that we stand behind based on the data that we have to date. So this is the additional bump in revenue that we can expect this game to bring in once it's launched on Big Fish Unlimited. Now I want to take a moment to highlight something. So Grim Tales: The Legacy is actually game 2 in the series. 2 additional games have launched since this game went live. Big Fish has been around since 2002, so we have had a lot of experience at launching successful brands onto PC and various platforms. So taking the first 30-day sales performance of this game on the platforms on which it is currently live, we are able to successfully model the estimated lifetime value of this game for up to 3 years after launch. So what I'm about to show you is what we anticipate this game to bring in total revenue-wise by 2015. Now, let's do that. We estimate that by 2015, this game will have a lifetime value of $2 million. That's quite a bit higher than even what you're seeing right here. And why is that? Well, because it's going to have some additional sequels. Games 3 and 4, which you aren't seeing up here, launched over the last 6 to 9 months, and they vastly outperformed how this game, which is game number 2, sold on our website. One nice thing about sequels is that they also have a nice tail effect on their preceding games. So games 2 and 3, when launched, actually helped the sales of this particular game because customers encounter that sequel. They may not have played the predecessor games, so they go back and do that, and the game earns additional revenue. And actually, that's one of the great things about premium casual games in general. They tend to have a long and interesting life cycle. They tend to have long tails, and those long tails exist not only on PC, but also on the other platforms we support. So that's Grim Tales: The Legacy. Now I'm going to show you a new game from Elephant Games called Christmas Stories: The Nutcracker. So I'll tell you in advance, this game was a bit of a unique release for us in that obviously it's very seasonal. You probably wouldn't launch that game around Halloween. It is Christmas themed after all. So we worked very hard with the developer to try to queue this up for an optimal timed release. And I think that helped because in the first 30 days as a collector's edition, it made $800,000 on our site, PC Mac. Very, very, very exceptional performer for us. That being said, we do think that the particular seasonality of this game may have had a slight impact on the standard edition because although it's helped bring the total revenue up to 1.2 million, it probably could have done better, but we had to launch this at the end of December here. And, well, Christmas ends in December. So there's more opportunity for that. Also, the game hasn't yet been localized. It's not live in all of the languages that we support. And the international sites that Big Fish has will give a game a 20 to 30% revenue bump in sales. So there's definitely more that this game will earn once it's live across those international versions as a standard edition. We did something else unique with this game because of the seasonality, and we actually launched it as quickly as possible into the App Store for iOS in timed with the standard edition release. And the sales that we saw in the App Store bring the total first 30-day revenues for this game up to 1.4 million. Again, same problem we had with Grim Tales: The Legacy, partly because we were working so hard to get this game out quickly. It is an English iPad-only game. It's not available on iPhone, and the international versions are not yet available either. So there is still substantially more revenue that this game could earn in the App Store. And additionally, we haven't yet launched it on Android, although that is coming soon. Here's what we anticipate the game will earn in the additional bump once it's live in the cloud. And unlike Grim Tales: The Legacy, Christmas the Stories: The Nutcracker is the first game in what will be a multi-game series. So it's already performing this well, and it's the first one out. It has sequels, but they're yet to come. So when you factor in the sequel effect and the overall lifetime value we expect this game to have, we do expect it to bring in over $3 million in lifetime value revenue. So that is very exciting, and this is something that we can help this game do by leveraging it across the various platforms that we support. So I just showed you 2 games from the same studio, both with vastly different performances. Well, why is that? And the reason being, folks, is because Christmas Stories: The Nutcracker took to heart that slide I showed you a few moments ago on what customers want. The game developer spent a lot of time putting in those features into this particular game. They also spent a lot of time culling out any features that we know customers hate. But the number one thing this game did are these top 2 bullet points here. An immersive story told through gameplay. Now, if you go home, and I recommend you do, and you play these games side by side, it might shock you how word-heavy, how many words are in Grim Tales: The Legacy. It's kind of like reading a book. It's a perfectly fun, really good game in my opinion, but it is very word heavy. There are actually very few words in Christmas Stories: The Nutcracker. A lot of the story is told very smartly through gameplay, and a lot of the story is told through what I consider some of the highest quality animated cutscenes that we've seen in a casual game to date. So this developer really worked hard to do this one right. They also did something unique that I do like to point out, is that this game was unique in that they had character helpers. So these animated characters that you encounter throughout the game, you actually put them into your inventory, and when you need them, you can call upon them. And that gave this game a bit of cuteness, some cheekiness that I think helped it. And let's be honest about it, It's a pretty well-known story, and it had some pretty awesome Nutcracker music in the game, which was also, we think, very, very helpful. So what did we learn today? Well, we talked about who the Big Fish demographic is, 87% women, 87% women between the ages of 35 and 75. They highly prefer the hidden object adventure genre, and these customers are also customers who prefer to play games that are told in an immersive story. That's also how to develop a game customers will buy. Pick a story, a theme that we know will resonate with our customers, tell the story through gameplay, use interactive hidden object scenes and high-quality animations as often as possible to help tell that story, and more importantly, know your audience. Spend some time playing the games that are live out there in the world, that are doing well, that are already, hidden object adventure games or premium casual games, and really see what does resonate with the consumer. And why is Big Fish the best publisher for premium casual game? We are the world's largest marketplace for casual games. We have the customer data that we can give to you to help make these games successful. We can get these games discovered on more platforms, and we have a life cycle management strategy that I've demonstrated here that will allow us to maximize the estimated lifetime value of your game. And that, my friends, is how to make a successful premium casual game. Thank you. So I have to excuse you all so you can go grab lunch, but if anyone has questions, I'll be wrapping up here or also at the Big Fish booth.